What's up, everybody? And today we're checking out the MQ-9 Reaper, the most dangerous military drone on Earth. This is us dabbling into the drone area of military equipment now, because we've done pretty much most of the current Western aircraft. And so if this is the most dangerous military drone, I think this would be really cool. Couple questions, though. The MQ-9, like, why is that? What does the MQ stand for? Because obviously with regular aircraft, we've got F for fighter jet, B for bomber, and so on and so forth. So I have a few questions on stuff like that, which I don't know whether I'll answer in here. This is by US Military News, which you're well aware at this point of how amazing this channel is when it comes to information on military stuff. So I'll leave a link down below in the description if you want to go over to their channel and give it a like and subscribe and all that good stuff. Don't forget to subscribe and like on this video. We are so close to 500,000 subscribers, guys. We are so close. What else? Also, in the last videos, I mentioned that I have finally, for the first time in like 5 years, or however long I've been doing this channel for, I've finally put links down below to the equipment that I use. The camera, the audio, the mic, the keyboard, everything. Lights, everything. And if you want to see all that, obviously it's Amazon links, so I do get a commission if you end up buying something. But if you do go through them links, I would really appreciate it. It will help support this channel. But yeah, if you want to see some of the stuff that I recommend and that I use, then it's down below. I also put like 5 books that 5 of my current favorites. So if you're interested in all these books behind me, then you can certainly go look at that as well. If you're a book person like me, and then maybe we become friends and we can talk about books, because my wife is fed up of me talking to her about books. She's like, Luke, I don't care about your books. And I've got no one I can talk to about my books. So, yeah. Let me know in the comments. Other than that, shut up. Let's watch this video. Let's have some fun. Let's turn subbies on. And let's see what this drone is all about. I feel like I've seen this drone so many times, and I actually don't know what it is. So to know it's the MQ9 Reaper is pretty interesting.
The MQ9 Reaper drone, America's weapon of choice for the next World War?
Probably. Isn't it crazy that it's like...
The Air Force MQ9 Reaper...
Isn't it crazy that it's a propeller? Like, I feel like... Because I know it's a drone and drones use propellers, but it's pretty big. Like, you would think that they would use a jet on it. But, I mean, who knows? I think the 6th generation fighters will be 50-50 unmanned and manned, personally. I feel like it'll be a bit of both. But yeah, it's just a bit weird that it's a propeller. It makes me wonder what the speed of this is and everything.
Drone will live to fight another day or thousands of days due to a clear service plan to employ the platform for at least the next 15 years.
Whoa, 15 years?
The General Atomics MQ9 Reaper, sometimes called Predator B, is an unmanned aerial vehicle capable of remotely controlled or autonomous flight operations developed by General Atomics Aeronautical Systems, primarily for the United States Air Force.
For another 15 years? It must be impressive then, because if you think about how quickly technology in drones is going, like, it is almost unfathomable. 15 years ago, people didn't really have personal drones, and now you can buy, like, the DJI ones and stuff. Like, think about how quick that technology's turned over in 15 years, and this is going to still be deployed in 15 years? That's pretty impressive.
The MQ-9 is a larger, heavier, and more capable aircraft than the earlier General Atomics MQ-1 Predator. The Reaper has a 950 shaft horsepower turboprop engine.
Okay.
The greater power allows the Reaper to carry 15 times more ordnance payload and cruise at about 3 times the speed of the MQ-1. The aircraft is monitored and controlled by aircrew in the ground control station, including weapons employment. The strategy is to evolve and sustain the MQ-9 Reaper as it transitions from primarily a counterterrorism surveillance and strike platform into a great power warfare asset.
Okay, but I feel like great power warfare asset is a bit of a vague term, isn't it? I think what they mean there is that they want to use it so it's... The reason they're probably going to use this for a long time is because it's incredibly versatile. That's my guess. And the fact that it can probably carry stuff. So they're probably going to use it for surveillance, use it for missiles, use it for all sorts of different things. And that's what the power warfare asset is. It's like a vague term so that they can adapt it to many different situations. So far, I feel like it's impressed me in a way that I didn't expect. I feel like, yes, the surveillance on it's fantastic. I always get a bit worried about drones, though, because, like, what happens if they get shut down and stuff and that technology gets used by someone else? Do you know what I mean? Like, that always gets me a little bit worried. But I guess, like, you know, that's above my pay grade, so I'm not really sure how they combat that.
Less stealthy and therefore potentially less survivable against advanced major power air defenses, the Reaper drone still has tremendous utility and tactical value in a potential large-scale war. With this in mind, the Air Force has for many years now been evolving the Reaper to upgrade its technical systems and expand its mission scope to transition the drone into the great power warfare era. The efforts have been going on for several years as they include the addition of a universal weapons interface on the drone to add new weapons to its arsenal and increase its ability to transition between multiple types of bombs.
Obviously, it's not as big as a regular aircraft, so that's probably why it doesn't have jets on it and stuff, but it is pretty big for a drone. Is it only capable of carrying the 4 missiles? Is that it? 4 types of bombs? Or is it able to be adapted into something else with smaller missiles? Because 4 isn't that many, but if you're using it for surveillance and using it for missiles, then I guess that's pretty decent, isn't it?
The Air Force has also added new weapons to the drone, fuel tank extension, and incorporated air-to-air weapons to the Reaper as part of an effort to expand the scope of its potential missions.
Adaptability right there.
Most recently, the Air Force is retrofitting the Reaper with hardening technologies intended to stop enemy jamming attempts and improve resiliency and survivability. Other Reaper enhancements include electro-optical infrared sensor upgrades, as well as an additional weapons integration.
Interesting.
The MQ-9 program office is already completing initial fleet retrofits that will mitigate potential jamming to the platform. This is the first retrofit of many, as MQ-9
I honestly think that the technology of drones and the technology of aircraft, when you get to like the 7th gen of aircraft, I think they're mostly going to be unmanned. I think drones are going to be the future when it comes to the airspace. I think it just makes sense because no lives are taken if something gets shut down. And you can maneuver in a way that would you know, you could go at speeds and you can maneuver in ways that a human can't physically do. And so I think that drones will eventually, I don't know if it'll be for a long time, but I think drones will eventually overtake manned aircraft just for that aspect. And I think this is like the seed sprouting on stuff like that, isn't it?
Domain operations configured aircraft will receive additional closely held capabilities that will enable command and control mission assurance and resiliency while the aircraft is airborne, according to an Air Force report. The Air Force has been adjusting and migrating the Reaper for a number of years now through a range of significant efforts to include the addition of the AIM-9X air-to-air missile, the AIM-9X, which also fires from F-35 Lightning II and F-22 Raptor, can use advanced guidance technology including off-bore sight targeting, meaning it can destroy non-linear targets behind or on the side of the aircraft that are not necessarily in a direct or straight-ahead line of sight.
That's interesting to know. That the missiles, I haven't done enough videos on missiles just yet, have I? I need to learn some of this stuff first. But it is interesting that there's different style of warheads that are able to combat different scenarios in that way that I've not heard of before. That's very interesting.
Off-bore sight targeting means that the missile can direct, turn, or change course in flight. Software upgrades have enabled the Reaper to fly with as many as 8 Hellfire missiles as well,
8,
adding to its overall weapons carrying capacity.
8, there you go.
The Reaper can now be armed with AGM-114 Hellfires, 500-pound laser-guided weapons called GBU-12 Paveway 2, GBU-38 JDAMs, and a new International Navigation Systems guidance kit.
Interesting. 8 weapons is a lot. 8 is a decent amount right there.
The Reaper gets F-35B-like capabilities. The MQ-9 Reaper drone is set for a new upgrade, offering it a short takeoff and landing capability, making it the first unmanned aerial system in its class to be able to take off from big-deck amphibious assault ships.
That is actually incredibly impressive. And again, this is another step forward in drones. I just feel by the time we get to 7th gen aircraft, whenever that is, 50, 60, 70, maybe even 100 years, maybe after my lifetime, I think they're all going to be unmanned. I really do. Like, look at the steps that this thing's taking. How quickly as well. Like, the speed of it. Think about how quick technology changes during a world war. right? Think about World War One and Two and how quickly them technologies evolved. If there was a World War Three and the US was involved, I think that the technology would evolve so quick that by the end of that war, there would be unmanned aircraft that are as good as like the F-35. I really do, honestly.
Announcement was made by the General Atomics Aeronautical Systems Incorporated. The new short takeoff and landing STOL configuration for the drone will consist of an optional wing and tail kit that can be installed within a day, while the core aircraft and its subsystems remain the same.
That's incredible.
Operators can install the kit in a hangar or on a flight line, providing a new capability to an existing aircraft. While it's not yet clear if Aeronautical Systems will offer its new drones in the STOL configuration, it can be reasonably assumed that the capability would be made available to new customers as well. Imagine taking the hardtop off your Jeep. You lift it off, stow it in your garage, and now you've got an open vehicle. If it rains, you put the hardtop back on. We're the same. Take a standard MQ-9B, put the STOL kit on, and then go fly, said David Alexander, president of the General Atomics Aeronautical Systems.
That's pretty impressive if you think about how many different iterations there are of like the F-35 or whatever. Like, think about how quickly that these different iterations can change with these drones. Again, it's just another tick in the box that's already kind of a little bit ahead of... Like, obviously, as a whole, it's nowhere near as advanced as like the F-35 or the F-22. But it's a little bit of a tick in the box that something like the F-35 can't do just yet. And I honestly think these are the future.
General Atomics released an animated video of the STOL version of the Reaper drone on May 10th, in which the Marine Corps marked MQ-9 can be seen taking off from the deck of what looks like the USS Makin Island. STOL means we can take this incredibly capable, long-endurance aircraft and get into and out of more airfields and more places, Alexander said.
That's impressive.
The company particularly mentioned the use of MQ-9B short takeoff and landing on amphibious assault ships, which carry several Marine AV-8B Harrier jump jets, or the F-35B Lightning IIs.
Yes.
Both of which have the short takeoff and vertical landing STOVL capability.
So cool.
The America-class amphibious assault ships are just 844 feet in length, requiring aircraft to either take off in a very short space or be a vertical lift aircraft like helicopters. Even a Nimitz-class aircraft carrier with its topside length of 1,100 feet is too short for a conventional takeoff, because of which its non-rotary wing embarked aircraft need to use catapults to get airborne.
Yeah.
Picture something like an amphibious assault ship, such as the USS America. Our wing set folds up so the MQ-9B STOL could park on the deck or in the hangar bay, just
also think about the size of them compared to a regular aircraft. Like, once them wings fold up, like, all of a sudden you've got... Maybe you could get, like, 3 of them where the space of 2 aircraft are. Like, you're getting more in the sky. Like, that alone is massive, isn't it?
Like any other naval aircraft. When it's time to launch, you start up the aircraft, unfold the wings, and take off over the bow just like any other aircraft, without the need for ship launch aids. No catapult needed, Alexander said.
Woo. That's
the company
impressive.
believes that the U.S. Navy and Marine Corps will be interested in the STOL Reaper because of its ability to provide persistent and long-range intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance capability anywhere in the world where the Navy's big deck ship can travel, or
the information that these drones can probably get in the sky is probably very impressive. The only thing that, you know, you got to start worrying about is and I'm talking way in the future when I was talking about, you know, replacing regular aircraft. Like, these things can probably get shut down pretty easy from, you know, enemy aircraft. They can probably get shot. And they're not going to fight in a dogfight. And they're the big boxes that it's got to tick if it's going to start getting, you know, incredibly advanced. But right now, just for surveillance, it's pretty impressive.
There's even a small remote airstrip. By extending the surveillance umbrella of the amphibious ships, we can also host kinetic capabilities that would act as the first line of defense for Navy ships, Alexander said. They don't have anything like this right now. So you could use it to support your forces in the littoral, on the beach, or blue water operations. The latest version of the MQ-9 is powered by the Rolls-Royce M250 turboshaft engine.
The classic Rolls-Royce engine used in the Lancaster bomber. Yeah, Rolls-Royce engines are always very, very good. We know that already.
Equipped with a high-resolution electro-optical infrared nose-mounted MTS-B sensor and can carry an eagle-eye long-range synthetic aperture radar with moving target indicator capability, signals intelligence, and communications relay packages, as well as a host of other capabilities through bolt-on pods. A Reaper could be an effective wide-area surveillance platform, providing coverage over large areas of the ocean for long periods.
Yeah.
It would be just as effective as a networking node, connecting strike groups and the nearby battle space as a whole beyond the line of sight without relying on satellites.
Yeah.
So, considering the vast expanse of the Pacific Ocean, where the United States is most likely to face off against China, the need for a persistent set of eyes looking as far and wide as possible is becoming a tactical necessity.
I genuinely think if there ever was a World War III, which I really, really hope there's not, this technology would be advanced. Like, they would advance it so quickly that it would be almost terrifying. I guarantee it. You think about, like, a regular aircraft, and, like, humans can't go over a certain amount of Gs, and maneuverability is limited to the actual pilot. Not with these. And obviously, it can't do the same maneuvers or speed as an F-22 right now or something like that. But one day, if they advance that technology, I'm telling you right now, it will be able to one day.
It could also be used as a sub-hunter, as the MQ-9 is capable of carrying sonobuoys from a wing-mounted pneumatic launching pod.
Whoa.
Data links would relay the information gathered by the sonobuoys back to the ship or manned sub-hunting helicopters for analysis and exploitation.
That's weird. They're impressive. I feel like they've impressed me more than I expected, to be honest with you. Cool bit of kit. Very unique looking. And a cool bit of kit. Great video by US Military News. That's it now on here. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I'd love to know your thoughts on this area. I honestly think that the Venn diagram of a drone and a fighter jet are slowly but surely getting into just one big circle. And although there's a long way to go, I think there's at least 50 years before we see anything like that. I think it's definitely not as far away as some people expect, at the rate of which technology is constantly getting quicker and quicker as well. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'll leave a link to the original video in the description, as I always do. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We're so close to 500,000. Let's do it. Let's have a party. It's going to be a blast. Until next time, I love you all. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.